I'm standing in front of Stanford Hall, which is on the Nottingham-Leicestershire border. Today it's at a cooperative college, but right up until the war it was somebody's home. And inside is a cinema. And I'm not talking about something the size of a TV room. Tell you what, I think it's time we travelled in time. Blimey. You know, I feel like that Egyptologist, Howard Carter, when he first looked into Tutankhamun's tomb. But this delight was built by manufacturer and multimillionaire Sir Julian Carn. Now, Bob, we're sitting in, well, when I say it's a cinema, in a sense it's not really a cinema, is it? It's sort of almost a viewing room, amazingly enough, in a private house. But before we get on to that, what is it now? Put it into context.
We're actually here at Stanford Hall, which is the home of the Cooperative College. But prior to that, it was the home of Sir Julian Carn, a legendary character in his own right, a man who started locally the Nottingham furniture stores.
Yeah, but come on, he must have done well, because this is the size of a proper cinema. I've been in many cinemas smaller than this. There are seats everywhere, the curtains. You've even got an organ.
It is. It's a 352-seater theatre built in 1938, which I can tell you would sit proud in any London street.
I see. So this was his home at that time, and this would be, he could indulge himself as a private theatre, film show, whatever he wanted to do.
That's right. You see, the thing was that Sir Julian had various passions in his life, and one of them was conjuring. Now, when you're a millionaire and you want a place to build and show your tricks, then you build yourself a classical theatre. And I mean, he didn't skimp. You can see as you look around these beautiful murals. They were designed by a lady called Beatrice McDermott, who was the top flight of the 30s. And everything about this theatre speaks of Art Deco at its grandest.
Yeah, yeah.
We, with the local authority, Rushcliffe Borough Council, a few years ago, decided to start classic cinema. We show things like Casablanca, Separate Tables, Great Expectations, and we also show, with very great effect, some silent films. Ivor Novello's first film that we showed here, and they're accompanied by the theatre organ. It's usually full for these events, and it is now a modern cinema. I mean, modern in the sense that it's open and it's still playing. If you go outside now, John, pick up one of the leaflets, I'm sure you'd like to come along, you'll find that there's quite a bit to entertain you, and it's good to see that a facility of this vintage is still playing.
Roy, we've heard a lot about the history of this cinema, but that organ you're playing, that's got a history, hasn't it?
Oh yes, it was built in 1926 when it was put in the Madeleine Theatre in Paris. And Sir Julian Carn, who owned this particular Stanford Hall at the time, he was over there at the Paris exhibition and he wanted some musical accompaniment. He bought the organ from the theatre and brought it over in 1937, and he had this theatre built at the same time, and he put the organ in it, and here it is, and it's been here ever since.
Now, when this organ was, let's say, unveiled, the scope of it must have seemed amazing to anybody who heard it, but there's a younger generation coming up with a different approach to music. They've barely heard any live music, never mind a cinema organ like this. Do you think there's any future for younger people?
It's got a limited future, I think, but I must say, even the younger people seem very fascinated when they've heard it for the first time. It's something they've never seen before. They're used to keyboards and this sort of thing.
Now, Roy, I wonder if you can give us an idea of what scope this organ has. I mean, what, for a silent film, would you play during a chase, let's say? How about something a little bit more romantic? Well, sensational. Stunning. Superb. This place was actually designed by the same bloke who did the Granada Tooting, which I believe became a bingo hall. But this place is still a working cinema. Let's go and have a look at the projection room.
You have to trim up.
Now, fellas, I'm not very technical, so don't try and blind me with science, but why is it that these projectors aren't really suitable for showing contemporary films, as we'll say, let's say after 1950? John?
Well, I suppose really, when these machines were installed in the 30s, there was no such thing as cinemascope in those days. It was all square, the old square academy type format.
That's why the auditorium is the shape it is. It's not wide like the new cinemas, purely because it was a square.
It wasn't meant for that.
No.
This is one of the great benefits, though, and on the other hand, that machines like this, for patrons that pay to come and see classic films, can actually see them as it was then. This is why we're dressed like this, because on a Saturday night, you sort of made the effort. You came up here and you did the job.
The atmosphere and what you get out of when we're showing a film on a Saturday night, it's magic.
It's a buzz.
It's so magic and we'd still do the changeovers like they originally did. And it's just so magic. You can't explain it.
So, what, do you see yourself as part of the heritage sort of
projection? It is.
Where else can you go? Where else can you go in the country, possibly the world, and see a proper film shown with the Wurlitzer organ, the proper projectors?
Art Deco theatre.
It's not been disturbed. It's fantastic.
Once you've had a bit of this business in you, it actually gets into your blood. It's a bit like people that have aeroplanes and things. Once you've got the bug, it's something that never leaves
But
you.
it's like groups. See, we love our area up here and showing the films. Another group will be the usherettes. They'll love their job.
Yes,
The organist and the people who come to see the organ, they
It's a
love
team.
that.
It's all a
So
team.
when it all gels together, it's a fantastic night.
It's bringing the magic to the people.
Yes, but come on, wouldn't you guys really like to drag this cinema kicking and screaming into the 21st century?
No, because it's a landmark for people to come, younger people, and see how it was done, and to.
And is done.
Yes, and is done.
Yes.
And appreciate the atmosphere.
It's
what we
electric
get.
out
It
there.
is, absolutely.
Quite often I wish I could be down there instead of
Yeah.
up here, but, you know.
He wouldn't want to be down there, would he?
No, not really.
And somebody said to me earlier, oh, you must see the rectifier. What's that?
It goes with the projectors.
It's basically the mains voltage goes into it, and these arc lamps here burn carbon rods, and the idea is that the voltage has got to be reduced and the current has got to be increased to get the correct burning rate for the light source, because there are no modern xenon lamps here or anything. This all runs on carbon.
Zoos. This is the work of the devil himself. I mean, you've got to face it, it's like something out of the Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, never mind about the film. This is worth the price of admission itself. I have met the rectifier. Well, I've listened to the mighty Wurlitzer and I've met the mysterious rectifier. I suppose the only thing that could happen now is if the spirit of Sir Julian Colm was able to come down and give me a night at the cinema, but somehow I don't think that that's going to happen.